the Awaken Your Ego podcast with Joanne and Ariana. We are a health podcast that explores topics to do with biohacking and self-discovery.
We are also on the self-discovery journey, and we want to attract listeners that are doing the same in order to help them realize they're not alone.
Ego differs from conventional medical spas and wellness centers. We believe that the secret to maximizing one's sense of self is in addressing the entire person, inside and out. We provide state-of-the-art aesthetic treatments as well as lifestyle management and holistic health solutions. We aim to please with our efficient and friendly customer service and guarantee with our scientifically proven alternative therapies and lifestyle optimizations that every patient will leave our care with a boosted ego. Our goal is to help our patients realize the necessity of self-care and to encourage them to prioritize their health and wellness goals. When we make self-care and confidence a priority, then we're able to bring to light our potential for happiness and growth. This podcast is a way to expand our reach so that we are able to spread the word on the importance of self, the whole self, inside and out.
This podcast is for educational purposes only. Please reach out to your medical provider if you have questions about any of the treatments we discuss to see if it's a right fit for you. Now on to our show. Hi, everyone, and thanks for joining us for another episode of Awaken Your Ego podcast. Today, we have the lovely Liset joining us again.
Hello. Thank you.
We love having Liset. But first, before we get started into the podcast, we realized we didn't do any rapid fire questions. And so we want our listeners to get to know you a little bit better.
Oh, boy.
So we're going to start it off with some rapid fire. Ariana's going to ask these questions and we'll get started.
You ready for this?
No.
Too bad.
The point is to answer as quickly as possible, whatever comes to mind.
Mm-hmm. You know that doesn't
You got
happen.
this.
All right, and we're going. What was your first job?
Salesperson. Take that back because I used to work in the fields with my parents.
What's your favorite season?
Oh, spring.
What's your favorite animal?
I would have to say a dog.
What's your favorite color?
Green.
What's been your favorite age so far?
Oh, 31.
So random. How often do you floss?
Every day.
That's good. What's the stupidest dare you ever agreed to?
There's so many. When I was in my 20s, by the way.
Is your bed made right now?
Yes.
Good. Who do you text most?
Cindy.
Who is your hero?
My mom.
Where did you go on your last vacation?
Oh, it's been a while.
That's not a good sign.
No, it's not.
What
Wasn't it Disney?
I would have to be. Yeah, Disney.
What is your go-to pastime?
Time.
Sitting by myself.
That's your favorite pastime?
Yes.
I love it. Love that. Well, perfect. You did fantastic.
I'm all, I'm like Honey Bear.
It like makes your brain like think of a million different things. All right. Well, today we wanted to talk a little bit about manifesting.
Yes.
We get a lot of questions about that, and people are wanting to know your ways and how they can implement that more in their life.
Nice.
So we're going to go through some of that. First of all, why don't we have you explain what manifesting is?
I'm glad that you started with that question because it's actually the base of it. It's an idea or a thought that you bring into reality. Very much it. Now, there's steps to bringing the manifestation into reality, but that's going to have to do with yourself. And I hope within this podcast, we're able to tell them how to do it.
Love that. So, you put it so simply. I feel like it's a thing that a lot of people find so complicated and they want to know. And even for me, when I first heard manifesting, I'm like, is this like a trick? Like, is it something special? Like, what's the secret? But I think we overcomplicate it.
We do.
Yeah.
And I always thought manifesting was like wishing. Oh, I hope this, or I wish this to happen. But so that's where I didn't really understand, like, what is manifesting?
So when you hope and you wish, it's saying that it's not going to come true.
Or like it's a far reach.
It's a far reach. even though I love the song from Disney, Wish Upon a Star, love it. But when you wish, it literally is just saying, I'm wishing this will happen. I'm hoping this will happen. And the second step to it is, it will happen. Mm-hmm. I'm creating. And we're going a little bit more into detail about it now. And then you're going to follow, once you, what we call is make that wish, it's the now changing the mindset from a wish to it will happen. From what it will happen, then you will get these intuition steps of what will take you to that point of manifesting that idea or that thought.
Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of understanding it as it's more of like having faith, believing that it's going to happen.
Faith is huge, yes. Faith is your number one thing. You have to have faith in everything that you do. Faith in yourself. And that's the energy behind everything.
Mm-hmm. And I think for me, I grew very religious, and I think when I think of manifest, I try to correlate it, right, to like practices I've learned in the past. Would you say manifesting could be seen as similar to like a prayer?
Yes, it can. It's the base of it. But this is where we enhance. It's not just going to be a prayer, but it's how the prayer is said that changes from the hope to, once again, it's a statement. It will. I will have this. It will be. I wish is saying, I wish to pick up a pen, which is, it's never going to happen. Or when someone says, hey, let's make a plan. Let's go ahead and do something. You're like, yeah, go ahead and call me. And there's nothing set in stone. Mm-hmm. You're just like, okay, you're going to just, normally what people do that. Or yeah, let's do it maybe. No, it's not, you're putting it out there that you're not have the full intentions of creating something.
Mm-hmm. It's almost like leaving it in the air hanging.
Correct.
But true manifesting is like making it more concrete and allowing your brain to create an action plan.
Yes.
Love that.
And the beginning of when you said a prayer, the prayer is teaching you to have faith into something outside of ourselves and also inside of ourselves. So this is where the manifestation begins. So it's actually a great base to start. But once again, it goes based on how you're saying your prayer. Okay, so for example, when people pray, they're like, Dear God, or Father God, I ask of you because today is a really bad day and so and this and that. And please be here. And you're kind of throwing it out there like it's not going to happen, but wishing this outside source makes it happen for you. And it's generalized. Now, let's say, for example, that it goes from, Dear God, please protect my kids today. And I know everybody would say that. But here's the new prayer is, thank you for protecting my children. You've protected them in the past, so therefore I know that you will continue protecting them today and tomorrow. And that is saying in concrete that you trust and you have faith that things will be protected. My children will continue to be protected because the confirmation is that they have already been protected in the past. So it's actually now changing from a negative to a positive and affirming that you believe in this positiveness that's out there. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And now it's concrete. So it's like, thank you. And that positiveness is where is also the building of to manifest something differently. So that same prayer, you can put it for protection, for people, for what you want in life. Now, you're not going to say, as a prayer that most people do, is saying, just protect me tomorrow, protect me today, protect me in everything. And they're like, okay, God, are you protecting me? Mm-hmm. And sit there, protect me now, protect me this. And then they're like, oh, so it's an hour has passed and, I don't see where you're protecting me. Mm-hmm. Protect me again. I'm still kind of hurting and protect me. And yet you are protected. And most people fail to see that. So once again, changing the concept, which is changing the mindset, and changing that energy to positive, which raises your vibration. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so happy and grateful that I'm protected. I've been protected the last hour, so I know I will continue to be protected. Thank you so much. And I like to add, like, so it is, because it shall be.
When I think it's funny, because when I think of myself as a little kid, I viewed prayers as like this magical thing. Like, okay, you get to ask for what you want, and then it's going to happen. It's like, obviously, it was a very elementary, like, silly understanding of prayer. But I feel like oftentimes we get stuck in that loop of like, I want wealth, I want success, I want happiness, I want protection, I want comfort. But I'm in it, even thinking about how you're describing manifesting from what I'm saying, it's almost like it's still like this hanging wish that's not concrete. There's no action items there. It's like, I want. And instead you should be asking, like, in a different way of like, I will attain wealth. I will, like you said, I will be protected. I will, see the signs I need to see. And
well, I really like the way as a child when you said that you would do your prayers. Like, it's magical. It will come. And that's exactly, it will come. And that's where the faith comes in. Now, everybody has a proper steps for how they manifest, and they manifest differently. And it's actually where you continue to do this and it will happen. So let's do a manifestation. As simple as, I want coffee. Okay, I want coffee today. So I'm like, okay, I want coffee. Oh, let me change that. I will have coffee today. And let me add that vibration higher. Thank you for the coffee today. So now I'm putting it out there. There's someone is going to bring me coffee. Someone is going to have coffee. It's going to come to me. And all I have to do is just keep that faith and keep that energy up. Now, I'm not going to keep on dwelling on it. Who's going to bring me that coffee? I'm just going to say, thank you so much, in trust. Let it out there and put it out there into the universe, creator, source. And all you have to do from this point on is keep that elevation of vibration up. And that's where a lot of people start sinking down, because they're like, who's going to bring it to me? Oh, wait, it's already 2:00. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. And when they keep thinking about it more and more, they put the energy and the vibration, they bring it down lower and lower. So if they would just put that wish out, quote unquote, this manifestation, this idea, this creation, if they put it out there, forget about it, enjoy your day, and allow it to come how it may come. And then you will see the fruits of that manifestation come to you. You can even do it with parking spaces. You can go and the parking lot can be so filled up, and just kind of right before, just take a moment. Like, I'm going to envision that parking spot perfectly for me.
Well, I love that concept, because it's almost like we start to put conditions on it in our head.
Yes.
Right? If we don't just let go and allow, it's like every time you start thinking about like the coffee example, like, who's going to bring this? Like, well, I'm not going to get it unless someone in my sphere brings it to me. It's like
that's resistance.
Yes. You start resisting and then creating all these barriers to get what you want.
Yes. So once you create a resistance, that's where you need to start teaching yourself how to unblock them. Because we're so programmed that, we don't have faith that someone's going to bring it to us. We don't trust that someone's going to do it for us. We don't have trust in ourselves. It could be like, I'm not good enough, deserving enough, worthy enough that I'm going to obtain this. That could be with money, relationships, and everything else. I actually talked to someone a couple days ago, and we were talking about manifesting. And she said, I manifested something and I just don't know how I did it, but it just came so quickly. So she says, so she's a realtor. She says, I want 4 new clients. And then it turned to She took a moment and said, I will have 4 new clients. And then that moment, she sat there and she saw how she was doing the work of 4 new clients' paperwork. She felt the work being done. She was happy to have it and feel it done in her mind, and there was no resistance. And she was so secure in that thought, that feeling, that vision she had. And then not realizing, she sealed it by saying thank you. And then she got distracted, and she said within 2 hours, it came to her. Wow. Someone called her up and said, hey, I need for you to create these loans for 4 new people.
Wow.
And automatically. And that's literally the breakdown of manifesting. Because there's no resistance. She was secure about it. Once she changed, instead of I want to, I will have, she envisioned it. She felt it. She felt her doing the work of those 4 new paperworks. She sealed it with thank you. And she literally let it go. Because she had no resistance at all. And it came to her.
That's awesome.
Now, that's a great manifester. And she did it quickly. Now, what some people having to do this, and this is so brand new, sometimes it doesn't come this way. Sometimes it could be, I'm battling with a thought. And I'm going to talk about your manifesting experience. I'm battling with a thought. Should I, shouldn't I, should I, shouldn't I? Finally, when you made that decision, you said this was going to happen. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and move forward with this. There was no action yet. I'm going to move forward with this. And when you set in stone that there was no more resistance within you, you called twice to move forward. It wasn't able to happen. The person didn't contact you back. But then you had what? An intuitive thought that maybe I should follow something else. Intuitive action. She followed her intuitive action because she had no resistance about it. You didn't overthink it. You felt it, that this is what it needs to be. You did it. And what happened? What you wanted, what you wished for, what you manifested came into reality.
Thank you for sharing my story, Liset.
You're welcome.
So I'm someone that struggles with manifesting. Like, I'm listening to you talk about it and I'm like, that's me, the overthinker. So I think for me with my manifesting, it's that trust. And it's almost like a confidence. Like, I really do trust that this is going to work out. I don't know how, I don't know when. But it's like that key feeling. And I'm taking confidence because I wasn't confident of deserving these things. I don't know. My hang up was, okay, I'm wishing for these things, but do I really believe that they're going to come and happen? Am I worthy of it?
So my question, I guess, bringing this up, which is great, is like, I feel like I am able to manifest things that I want, right? Yes. I feel pretty confident in that ability. But I think my hang up is patience, like being patient, because I'll just strong arm it if I don't get my confirmation fast enough. And so how do we navigate the trust and allowing the universe to bring it to me, like easily? Like, how do I balance that versus like, okay, what's the difference between trusting yourself to make it happen and allowing and letting things come to you? Or is it one and the same?
Because allowing it to happen, and when you're making those intuitive actions, it comes very easily and very rapid. And you're not even thinking of any type of resistance. And there's no resistance with people. It's just as is, as it should be. Because in your head, while you were already manifesting this, there was no resistance. It's the belief system that we carry, the condition that we were conditioned by people around us, either society, parents, that we think that this has to be hard. This is difficult, and it's not. So I'm going to clear this right now in the room.
Well, and I feel like it's funny because I bring that up because I think a lot of the times we don't trust that it is a manifestation. We try to make sense of it rationally, like, oh, it's because I'm so skilled, or I'm making things happen. In reality, it's like I feel like sometimes it is a conjunction. It's like sometimes we are needed to manifest and to make things work. But I think sometimes we get hung up on the details. It's like, it doesn't matter if it's coming from me or someone else as long as I'm able to manifest what I want. Does that make sense?
Yes.
But I think sometimes we like to question it. Like, oh, it's not the universe providing, it's me. And I'm like, that's not right.
Well, like you said, it is a conjunction. It's both meeting together. It's like universe can only, or creator can only do so much. And like, once again, the intuitive action. Once you get that intuitive action and you feel like it needs to happen and you're thinking it and it continues, it's something that you need to take action upon.
Well, and there's this silly story, and I don't know if this is applicable, but I'm going to say it because it came to mind, that I learned growing up, and it's almost like a comical, like religious concept, but I'm sure you've heard it. So it's like, oh, there's a flood, and I'm praying to God, save me, save me. I trust God, he's going to save me. And then someone with a boat comes by and they're like, hey, hop in. No, God's going to save me. It's cool. Then I hop on the roof because the flood is getting crazier. And a helicopter comes by like, hey, I can save you. No, I'm waiting for God. It's okay.
Yes.
But it's interesting. And the comedy of it all is like, that's God trying to help you be saved. And I think sometimes we just deny those signs and that, you know, the action items maybe, or the people that are coming up to help us get to where we want.
Mm-hmm. And that is actually a great analogy and a story that really is the way it works. That you could be thinking about something and maybe you just don't have the skill or the tool or so forth, and someone does. So they're going to come and talk to you in a story, and it could be a random person. So let's say you're trying to learn, let's just say beyond manifesting or something else like salsa or something, and you just don't know where the schools are at. And you decide that you're going to go to, I don't know, like Target, and someone's around there and you're open to you don't even realize anything. You're just trying to get your items, and someone comes up and says, oh, you know, little old lady says, oh, she starts talking to you about little products, and then says, oh, my son is a school dancer, and, you know, he teaches salsa. And you're like, wait, what? And you're like, no, this is just too weird. It's a coincidence. Nothing is a coincidence in life. Mm-hmm. Because once you make an action of that, what you choose in your life, it will happen. Now, you and I, Ariana, had a convo through text or something. I think it was Instagram. And I said this, and I just kept it in my log. It says growth is inevitable. Either you grow in the direction you wish intentionally, or you grow in the opposite direction by default.
100%. Mm-hmm.
Which means that if you think that you're not playing in this manifestation, what people call game or intention, then you're still manifesting what you're feeling and what you're thinking. And if those are not aligned with who you want to be, or who it will be aligned with all the negativity, and you wonder why this keeps repeating in your life, it's a cycle. You continue it by the way you feel. The way you feel is what you think about. What you think about is what you feel. And you wonder, how can I get myself out of there in that concept? And the steps is going to be, we call it affirmations or appreciation. Appreciate what you have right now. Go back to the basics. Do you have feet to walk on? Yes, I can walk. I have legs. I can get up and go where I want to go. I have hands to hold a nice cup of coffee. I have arms to hug someone. I have, just even to eat. Thank you for my stomach that I can digest. Because when those things start hurting and you start having issues, believe me, you will focus more on that, and you wonder, why can I not feel better over this? So before you even get there, let's appreciate the things that you do have by the basics. Now, if you're in that spot, then once again, you will get intuitive action. Maybe I do need to eat a little bit better. Maybe I do need to stop eating so much carbs. Maybe I need to stop even drinking or smoking. Maybe it's the thought pattern process needs to change as well. So then we go back to, what's the resistance? The resistance is, why am I choosing to live in the condition I was conditioned by my parents and society and church? How can I change from that to something that I want? Now, think about yourself. How do you see yourself? And then on a different piece of paper, right? How do people see you? Then I want you to be very honest with yourself. Are these how I see myself really working for myself? Because people can say, okay, you know what? I'm real. This is a big one with people. I'm so real. But when they say I'm so real, I'm going to tell you that I don't like this, I don't like that, I don't like this, I don't like that. But but people don't realize that they're spewing negativity. Mm-hmm. They're being real and telling you how they feel is real. But they don't realize that what you're spewing is how you're viewing yourself too. I don't like this, I don't like that, I don't like this, with that attitude. Mm-hmm. The attitude comes from a feeling. Now, once you start appreciating people, I appreciate myself for what I have, who I am, then I'm open to appreciating other people, or I can appreciate you, therefore I can appreciate myself. Mm-hmm. It has to change the way you think about things, your paradigm. So let's talk about money on the paradigm. If you see someone with a nice car and you're like, oh, that must be nice. What are you spewing? What is a thought pattern that you're putting out there?
That you can't have it.
Exactly. But then you want it for yourself. So that means when you do finally get it through hard work, which you don't have to do hard work, by the way. Mm-hmm. When you do finally get it, then people are hating on you. You're spewing hate, bringing up hate, so it makes it harder for you to manifest in such a smaller timeline. Now, if I were to see somebody who has that car, I'm so happy that it came to you. That is within your own timeline.
I was just talking to my sister about this concept the other day, about how whenever I have a twinge of jealousy, mm-hmm. or like you said, maybe the car example, right? Maybe mm-hmm. I see someone with a nice car. It's like, if I feel jealous for 2 seconds, I release that feeling, mm-hmm. because I want to be able to say, that's awesome. Mm-hmm. Like, good for them. Mm-hmm. And my whole thought process is like, the more positivity I put out into the universe, the more I can realize my potential. Mm-hmm. So it's like you said, I don't want to nag the car and make it seem like, oh, that's out of my reach, I can never have that. I want to keep the possibility open that I can have whatever I want. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so I think it is, and then a concept me and Joanne were talking about earlier is like raising that vibration so you can be more in alignment and in tune with your intuition, with the things you're manifesting, mm-hmm. with the way you should go. Right. Mm-hmm. Right. I feel like those all kind of fall in line with each other.
Yeah. See, I kind of see it as like law of attraction kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Like, what I put in, I really do want to receive. Mm-hmm. But the key component is the intention. Yes. Like, I have good intent, what I want to put in, because I really do want good intent back. Right.
Now, there's different phases of your manifesting. Mm-hmm. or manifestation, and it could be where you're in that whole I'm real, trying to manifest, and I want this, and I'm working hard. And what happens with that is that you get tired very easily and very fast, where you think people are against you, and that's the part of it. And that's because you are not realizing that you're spewing out too, or you really do believe people are against you, and that's something that needs to be cleared, and realize that nobody's against you. and realize that that's a vibration that you can go ahead and move out of. So therefore you can start changing it, the mindset, by saying, thank you for those people and those friends that are really happy for me. And first cultivate people around you that are there while manifesting what you have. Because when you start manifesting and creating the world that you want, you yourself are having people around you that are happy for you. It makes it easier. It's happier. It's joyful. It's calmer. It's peaceful. But most people feel that peace is not fun. It's boring. So they have to create a little bit of chaos. And so where they want peace, but they're so used to and comfort in that chaos too. So that needs to change as well too. Because I can see you and I can say, I appreciate you. I can see you and say, I appreciate you. I appreciate your beauties, womanhood, your power. And it has nothing to do with me. But that's because I appreciate myself too. And I can appreciate you guys individually. I'm not comparing myself to you guys. You have your own timeline as well as I do. But I'm thankful that I have you in my world, because you're also my confirmation that I can have wonderful people in my life that are supporting and helping me build up to where I want to be. And I can be the same for you individually.
For sure. So what would you recommend for someone who's learning and who wants to develop this skill? What are the steps?
Because you've touched on some of it.
Yes.
You totally have.
Yes.
But like, to simplify it for someone that's like, okay, let's try this out. Where do we begin?
It's going to be repetitive affirmations. I talk about this twilight moment affirmations. So let's go back to theta. Theta is a brainwave, and it's a meditation brainwave. It opens your area of super subconscious and subconscious area where all your belief systems are created and they stay there. Now, your conscious is when you're awake, so things will trigger you, not understanding where it's coming from, but it's because you believe it in some form, in some way, and it's in that little area. So to tap into the area is when you first wake up, half asleep, not fully awake, and I call it the golden moments, where you can just keep your eyes closed. Don't jump up to get your phone. Don't jump up to do other things. Get yourself a few moments, allow yourself to be, feel that, and start doing your affirmations at that point. I love myself. Thank you, thank you. I'm so happy and grateful that the universe favors me. I'm so happy and grateful that I'm so lucky. I'm so happy and grateful that everything always works out for me. And then you wake up and you get your phone, and then, hell breaks loose. But then you always have that creation in the very moment of where you can keep creating that, and also in the evening. And people don't realize that it doesn't have to be an all-day thing. It can be those moments, 4 seconds, 5 seconds. And then your body will continuously, repeatedly, or in repetition, will start believing what you tell it. Because that's all it is. A belief system is something that you told yourself that in repetitive mode. When you're in your lowest, see what you believe. When you're crying, what do you believe? And then from there, you'll start changing your dynamics, start changing your paradigm. But it has to be your paradigm, the way that you view the world, because you cannot obtain something you want with the same mindset that you already have. You have to change your vibration. Your vibration comes from your feelings. Your feelings amplify it. So if you're thinking I'm not good enough, you feel it and it amplifies. And guess what? The world will show you in your manifestations why you're not good enough. But if you start with that moments in the morning, I'm good and I'm lucky. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then your feelings amplify it. Yes, I'm allowing myself to be. Because your feelings are not quite set right there in that golden moment, in that theta. Then something happens, and recognizing, oh, let's go back to the coffee. Someone brought me coffee. Thank you. I'm lucky. Oh, someone sent me a little text. They love me. Thank you. I'm lucky. It's confirming and finding confirmation out in the world of why you are lucky. Another thing I like to do is if hell does break loose, let's say throughout the day, and you're just like overly stressed, why am I so lucky? Tell it to yourself in the brain right now. Tell it yourself in your head right now. Why am I so lucky? Your brain will go find a reason why you're so lucky.
And reveal it.
And reveal it to you. And go ahead.
No, I just have a question. I feel like a lot of us don't think we're self-limiting. Like, oh, well, I do want great things. I wish good things for myself and everyone. Mm-hmm. But I feel like, where do we learn those self-limiting thought processes?
From parents, from yourself, from religion. I have to do this and this and this before I get rewarded.
And so I think, like you're kind of saying, like, you're either growing or, you know, declining by default. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of that default you're talking about. And so I love that concept that we can always go back and reevaluate. Mm-hmm. Like, I have this belief system, like, you know, I have to work hard to get the things that I want in life. And that was something that was very ingrained in me growing up. But now as an adult, I'm like, I'm sick of working so hard. Mm-hmm. How about things come easily to me? Success comes to me. You know, wealth and success are attracted to me. The things that I want are easily obtainable. It's like, it seems like a very minor thing, but like when you're saying when it comes to manifesting, that's huge.
That's huge.
It's like literally adjusting your mindset. So I think a big thing that I'm realizing is like I need to go back and see what my default belief systems are and reevaluate. Does this still ring true to me? Does this still serve me and where I'm headed? And I think a lot of people think, well, this is just how I am. This is how my family always was. And it's like, yeah, but you don't have to keep living that.
And that's where the growth stops, because you limit yourself from growing for any possibilities. And even though you want these different possibilities, the minute you affirm, this is how I am, you're affirming that everything that you are right now is what you're going to have, what you're going to get. And this is it. I have nothing else to give for anything or anyone, nor myself.
So how can someone start that process of like reevaluating, like, you know, their default mentality and like adjusting it?
Well, it depends on the category that you're wanting to, and it's really, really being honest with yourself. So let's go back to money. What did your parents say about money?
Hard work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You work for what you want.
See, those are two. Mm-hmm. Let me clear those for you right now.
You've already cleared that for me.
So an easy way to clear it is also writing them down and understanding that these are your limitations. Money doesn't grow on trees. We're poor. Or even if they didn't say
we
that.
Can't afford it.
We can't afford it. No, you just can't have it. And even with the simple of no, you start thinking, what belief system did you make from that no as a child? Because your child rational brain is not quite rational sometimes. Mm-hmm. It just says, oh, I couldn't have it, but my sister did. I couldn't have love, but my sister did. I couldn't have this. So then it's like you created something within yourself of why you can't have this and everyone can. Mm-hmm. Or the other one is a big popular one is the limitations of its scarcity. Mm-hmm. I'll give you an example. Whoever wins, I'll give them a prize.
Oh, yeah.
It's very limited. Mm-hmm. Who can win?
Who can win? And then one person wins because there's only one prize. So then you're in a rat race.
Yeah.
And you don't even realize that you're in a little rat race. And that even comes to with business. That comes to even what you're trying to do. Or when you're trying to manifest money. Oh, I can't have money because there's somebody else that needs it more.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody else that wants it more. Somebody else that really like, I'm doing good. I'm good. I have a roof over my head. I'm happy. And you're making this excuse of like, okay, I'm set. I'll just work with it. And I have a good job. And that's it. And they refuse to manifest more because what does that mean with other people?
Mm-hmm. See, that's kind of like me in a sense of growing up with not a lot. You know, my parents weren't really wealthy. But for me, I felt like, well, maybe if I'm just humble and I'm okay and grateful for what I do have, I won't be wanting more. Mm-hmm. I don't want to envy those who have more because this is just what I have. Mm-hmm. But I learned to be okay with that and to find comfort in a sense of, well, why can't I enjoy abundance?
Mm-hmm. Well, let me take humble out of your vocabulary, because that's one of the words that people try to use to keep you limited to have and deserve what you need to have, because you need to be humble about yourself. And humble, I like to change it as vulnerable. And then you go back to, why is it that person gets to have that money and I don't? Oh, but I need to be humble about it. Mm-hmm. And that is a limiting belief.
You know, I think when I think realizing, like you're saying, as a child, we want to make sense of everything. We try to make a reason, even if it's not rational. We want to like say,
you're
it's because of X, Y, and Z. Yeah, you're a sponge.
You're a sponge as a
kid.
And
so it's interesting. And what I've come to realize is like I've created those cycles and that I've been programmed in a way based on just my experience and things I've viewed. Mm-hmm. Like going back to love and even relationships, it's almost like, if you feel like in your family things weren't quite fair, or, mom and dad only had so much time in a day and you weren't on the list that day, it inputs into your brain like, oh, I'm unlovable, or I'm not important enough, or they need it first.
Yes.
It's like you learn this self-sacrificing mentality, and then that translates to it can translate to your friendships, relationships, but it's like being able to look at, no, I'm not unlovable. I'm going back and reassessing with my adult brain.
Yes.
The why. It didn't mean anything to do with me. It meant them.
Well, people don't, and then what that will manifest into as a grown adult, it's like, oh, you need more love than I do. I need to sacrifice myself. So here's all my love. I'm going to show you what I can give you to show you what I deserve. But this is unspoken. So let me physically show you how much I love you and support you. And when you don't get that in return, you make the other person a monster, because in your head, they should have automatically gave you that love because you were showing and sacrificing yourself for them. And that's also a limitation. You don't sacrifice yourself. You don't show someone. You don't give all that in expectation for someone to give you in return. It's still a limiting belief. Now, when you know that you know that you know you've healed yourself, that love is interchangeable. It is exchanged by two people. They easily give. I easily give. We harmonize. And when you know, like you know, like you know, I could tell you, I love you. And even though it might be hard for you, I'm still going to extend myself out. And that'll be it. I'm not going to expect anything in return. Now, when the person is already done their work, they will be in that vulnerable state as well and say, I love you too, and extend that too. But you have to understand that you have to feel that you can receive it too. Mm-hmm. And it's no more about sacrificing.
Well, and that's huge because I think some of my limiting beliefs, it's like I won't allow. Mm-hmm. I put walls up. And even if you're all trying to show me love, I'm like, no, I don't deserve it yet. I'm not there yet. It's like I stopped noticing that I am getting unconditional love, if that makes sense. So I feel like it goes with like, we limit what we receive as well as what we can manifest.
Exactly. And so also the steps for that too is to, if you don't know how to receive, what I like to do in an exercise for that is about self-empowerment. In fact, we've done it in one of our retreats, and it's about finding yourself, but then asking yourself what you've been denied and ask what you deny yourself. So you're able to view those limiting beliefs for yourselves because receiving is big. If you can't receive, you're asking for money and you're asking for luxury and you're asking for this great love, but you don't know how to receive.
Well, and you turn into the guy on the roof that's like, no, I'm waiting. I'm waiting. And it's like, no. Why are you waiting so long? We've given you so many opportunities.
Yes.
Well, I feel like we've covered a lot of interesting things, right? Liset, we are also having a manifesting event coming up in December.
Yes.
It's going to be on the 10th. So what are some of the things that clients can learn if they attend this event? Just a little snippet.
Well, how to manifest. And that's huge. It can manifest yourself in the life that you want, the love that you want, and even, luxury, money, traveling. What would you like for yourself? Let's take that day to empower yourself of how to.
Let's get the 411.
Yes.
Especially before the new year. I feel like the new year is a time where everyone is trying to be mindful and set goals. And I think this will be really powerful, and you'll see some changes in the new year.
Yes. It's my favorite time of the year. So, well, actually second.
What's your first favorite?
Spring.
Oh, that's right. We asked her.
Oh, yeah, you said the season. Got it.
So again, Liset, how can our clients find you? What's your social media handle?
Ego Wellness, Ego Beauty, and I'm also on Instagram.
The Consciousness Coach.
There you go.
And we'll include that in the description as well.
So thank you, ladies.
Thank you,
I enjoyed
Liset.
this conversation.
Us, and I'm excited for this event coming up. I feel like we can all benefit from this. Just from this conversation on the podcast, I feel like so many people can really, learn something and actually improve with your guidance. So I'm excited.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Awaken Your Ego, a podcast that explores biohacking and self-discovery. We hope you follow us on Instagram and Facebook to stay up to date on what we're working on in your area.